Hey guys, welcome back to Top Tipper Betting Tips. I trust you're having a fantastic start to your weekend and you're getting ready for the racing that's going to be taking place out at Turffontein. I'm going to hand over to the postman that's going to be tipping out at Turffontein and he's going to take you through the card.
Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, no matter where in the world you guys are, and a big warm welcome to the Top Tipper family. Racing comes to us on Saturday the 29th. We're at Turffontein, we are on the Standside track, and there are 10 races carded. Nice card. I think that there is money to be made. Please, guys, just take note there is a pick six carryover, and use our selections. Listen to my preview, and then obviously, guys, add your fancies in. So the first race off at 11:50. This is a maiden juvenile plate over 1160 meters. And we go through here. There are numerous first timers. I'll get to them in a moment. And when we go through here, my first selection here is horse number 10, and this is Callum Mureta. Ryan Munger gets the ride here for the Fortune Yard. Two decent efforts. That 6 to Guy Gibson was running on well on that occasion, and I really think that Ryan Munger will get the best out of this one, and this is my first selection of those that have run. For second, obviously, we've gone for the 1, and my apologies for the 11, and this is Phantom Express. He's drawn 1, or she's drawn 1 down the inside. When we go and we look, generally there is a bias. A bias tends to favor the outside draws. However, I don't think they've had any rain, and I think it'll be pretty even all over. So of the race runners, we have gone 10 by 11. Please take note, guys. Horse number 7, Red Bomber. This is Gavin Lorena for the Van Furen Yard. Really, really well-bred son of Lancaster Bomber. Cost just short of R500,000, and I really think that on pedigree this one's got a massive chance. Don't leave it out. If you're taking swingers, exactas, trifectas, watch it go down, and really well bred. For fourth, we've thrown in another first timer, horse number 2, and Brent Hyson. This is Malaseli Kajedi for the Dawson Yard. Both first timers are thrown in. I like the way they are bred, and both of them are drawn on the outside of the track. So we'll see if there is any bias. So the first race of those that have run, I've gone 10, 11, and then I've thrown the first 2 first timers. That is 7 and 2. We move on to race 2. This is the first leg of our bipot. And this is due off at 12:20, a juvenile plate for the babies over 1600 meters. And my first selection here is horse number 3, Holocene. This is Caden Brewer for the De Kock Yard. Last time out, this thing was drawn right in the bush. Still had a decent run from that draw, finishing only 2.5 lengths behind Bomb Bomb. Was running on, and I think again this one will be there when the whoops are cracking. Cannot be left out of all exotics. For second, I've gone for the 2. This is Battle of Kursk. Donald Geertsen claiming his 2.5 for the Magna Yard. This did finish behind horse number 3 last time out. Did have excuses, was over racing, and again, should be there and thereabouts. For third, we've gone for horse number 1, Max the Magician, Muzieni for the Magna Yard. This is a only winner in the field. Won last time out in the hands of Dennis Swaz. Again, nicely drawn at 4, must be an inclusion. For fourth, I've gone for the 4, Purple Pitcher, Julius Mariba for Billy Raters. Again, last time out, only 4.5 lengths behind Bomb Bomb. Did have excuses on that occasion, and again, definitely good enough for back end of trifectas and quartets. So the second race, 3, 2, 1, and 4. We'll move on to the third race on the card. This is the first leg of the place accumulator, maiden plate over 1600 meters, and this is due off at 12:55. And again, I think this is quite a competitive race, guys. And my narrow first selection here is number 1, Mo the Man. Keegan DeMille for the Van Vuren yard, nicely drawn at 3. Keegan has ridden it the last 3 occasions, has not been way off the pace. Last time out finished third, half a length behind Bob's Your Uncle, was sticky going, and again I certainly think that this one must be included in all exotics. For second, we've gone for the 2. This is Free Movement, Muzieni for the Sage yard. Again, has got some fair form. Last time out was handy if you watch a rerun, was hanging out around about 400 out. But again, should be included in all exotics. For third, I've gone for the 7. This is Royal Guide. Gavin Arena for the Alec Laird yard. Made a fair debut under Apprentice Kajedi, finishing third on that occasion, 6 3/4 lengths behind Cosmic Star. And again, this can only improve on that run, and we've thrown that one into run third. For fourth, we have thrown in horse number 4. Kambula, Striker Stradum gets him mount here for the Terry yard. Again, 3 fair efforts, nicely drawn at 1, is coming back from a little bit of a break, but again, good enough for back end of trifectas and quartets. So race 3, 1, 2, 7 and 4, and I'm putting the first 3 selections in the bipot, and I'm sure we should get through that one. Race 4, first leg of the carryover pick 6. This is due off at 13:30. This is the first of our feature races. The SA Fillies Nurseries, a grade 2, over 1160 meters. And in this event, my first selection here is horse number 4, Leaving Las Vegas. This unbeaten daughter of Rafif, Dennis Suarez, retaining the ride. This did win a grade 3 last time out, showed a lot of pace in yielding going, and kept on right through to the line. And we know how well Tony Peter's been going, and I said first choice here. For second, I've gone for again another unbeaten sort. This is Miss Geriatrics. Richie Faree gets a ride here for the Terry yard. Won really well last time out. That was first run back from a rest. This is a second run after layoff. Ripple Effect has come out and won since, so the form has been franked, and again must be included in your exotics. For third, I've gone for horse number 1. This is American Graffiti. Samanga Kamalo gets the ride here for the Terry yard. Again, very speedy sort. Got up to beat Fire Flames last time out. Fire Flames did come out and frank the form. And again, larger perms, I certainly will be throwing this one in. For smaller perms, I'm only going to go 4 and 7. For fourth, we've thrown in a nice little roughie here. This is horse 11, so Seductive. King and Demela gets a ride here for the Van Vuren yard. First time out, 2.5 lengths behind Ripple Effect. Really decent effort. And again, should come on from that run. And if the going is slightly biased, is drawn 10 out of 11. So race 4, 4, 7, 1 and 11. Smaller punters, 4 and 7 I think should get us through. We move on to race 5. This is due off at 14:10. The second of our features. This is the first leg of Jackpot 1, the SA Nursery Grade 2, over 1160 meters. And in the fifth race, my first selection here is horse 5, Lucky Lad, Richard Free for Sean Terry. Again, Richard has ridden on both occasions, won a grade 3 last time out, beating Amber Rock under the hands of Richard, and I certainly think that this one is good enough to remain unbeaten. For second, I have gone for horse 7, Amber Rock. We know that Mike and Adam, as you rate this one highly, is getting 2.5 kilos from our first selection, and under the excuse me, and under the hands of Samanga Kamalo, must be included in everything. For third, we've gone for horse number 2, Guy Gibson. Ray Danielson retains the ride for the Magna Yard. Won a really good race last time out, beating Jerusalem Rain. Was balked on that occasion, got through and got up. And I really think that round about 12 or 14 to 1. Have a look at this one going down, maybe worth a couple place bets. Must be thrown into swingers, trifectas and exactas. For fourth, I have gone for the 4 Jerusalem Rain. Won a maiden last time out for Ashley Fortune, and again should be there and thereabouts. So race 5, 5, 7, 2 and 4, smaller punters. If you're taking pick 6, 2, 5 and 7, but again obviously throw your own fancy in. We move on to the fifth race. We move on to the sixth race on the card. This is due off at 14:45. This is a computer form sprint, grade 1, over 1,000 meters. And in this event, guys, we find my best bet of the day, and this is horse number 1, Master Archie. Craig Zaki gets a ride here for Tony Peter. We saw that combination win on Thursday. Last time out, this one absolutely toyed with the opposition. I know it's carrying 60 kilos. I know it's running against Princess Keller. She's really top sort. However, in my opinion, I really think that Princess Keller is better over slightly further. But if you want to take a chance, well, we're going to banker Master Archie. As I said, I think Princess Keller needs a little further, and I think maybe running on. But when the race is over, I really think that it will take a very good one to beat Master Archie. We have tipped Princess Keller to run second, the obvious choice. If you want to take a smaller percentage, obviously add that one in. For third, we've gone for the 2, William Robertson, Strike Australian for the Spiciard. Again, very decent sort. I'm putting a line through the last run, even though it wasn't disgraced. I see they're throwing the blinkers on. Back over sprint distance, and I think William Robertson again will be there when the whips are cracking. For fourth, we've gone for the 3, Bartoldi. JP van der Merwe gets a ride for the Mike and Adam Azziard. Again, this did finish second to Master Archie, is 2 kilos worse off on that run, and I find it hard to believe that this one can reverse the form. So race 6, 1, 9, 2 and 3, best bet on the card at 18 to 10. We're going to climb on as soon as I'm finished with the preview. But if you're worried and you fancy the 9, obviously throw that one in as well. We'll move on to race number 7, due off at 15:20. Another grade 1, the Champions Challenge, over 2,000 meters. And in race 7, we find the first of my value bets, and that is horse number 12, Billy Bowlegs. I think this is currently around about 7 or 8 to 1. Gav Lorena for the Alec Ledyard. Last time out was not disgraced over 2,400 meters, was running on, and I really think with 56.5, I think this one will give it a very good account of itself, and is certainly worth an each way touch. For second, we've gone for the 11, Rain in Holland, Richie Fourie for the Terriard. Last up out was all the rage, set the pace and stayed on. I don't think that Rain in Holland will have it all her own way, but again, I think good enough to be there and thereabouts. For third, we've thrown in the 4, and this is Nebraska. Pierre Stradham gets a ride here for the Terriard. Again, won a decent race last time out over 2,800 meters. Was staying on prior to that behind Rain in Holland. Will need a hell of a lot of luck in the running to reverse the form with Rain in Holland. So pick 6s, I do think 11 and 12 should be sufficient. If you're worried, throw in the 4 as well. For fourth, we have gone for horse number 1, Piotr Mazzano. Keegan de Mello gets him out here for the Van Vuren Yard. Again, some decent runs when we go back on the 2nd of Jan, beating Electric Gold, and then prior to that beat Safe Passage as well. And again, could be good enough to fill in one of the minor spots. But race 7, I really think the result will be 12 and 11, 11 and 12. we do think that 12 is really, really nice value. We'll move on to the 8th race of the card. This is the Camilla Stakes, Grade 2. Again, over 1160 meters, and this is off at 15:55. In this race, my first selection is horse number 8, Kiss Me Captain, Richard Ferry for the Mike and Adam Azzi yard. I think this will jump. I think this will be right up there. The going should be on top, and I really think that this will be very, very hard to beat as well. For second, we're going to throw in horse number 2, Full Velocity. Then we've got Gavin Arena again for Sean Terry. Again, was not disgraced behind Princess Keller, finishing 6 lengths behind her. And don't leave this one out. If you go and look, Gavin has ridden this one, finishing a bob of the head behind Gobsmack, 2 lengths behind Vars Vicky. Decent effort behind William Robertson. So Gavin does know this one at a nice price. Throw this one in swingers and exactors. For third, we've gone for the 6, and this is Cabela Mazziani for the Crawford yard. Again, the last 2 efforts behind Princess Keller, in my opinion, I think was drawn on the wrong side, was running on last time out, and again, I certainly think that this one will be running on when others have cried enough. For fourth, we've gone for the 3, Stiptuluk. Louis Ngotwa gets a ride here for the Crawford yard. I think it's a lot better than his last one. They've given it a 13-week layoff, and I think, again, this is good enough for back end of trifectas and quartets. So in race 8, 8, 2, 6, and 3, I really think that 8 will be hard pressed. My apologies, I think 8 should win without being hard pressed. If you fancy anything else, throw it in. Smaller punters, you can bank at the 8. We move on to race number 9, and in this event we find the second of our value bets, and that will be horse number 8. And this is Bless My Stars. Bless My Stars is great value around about 5 to 2, 28 to 10. Really, really good effort last time out. Did have excuses, was drawn wide, and I do think that Samanga Kamalo will get the best out of this daughter of Give Me the Green Light. And for me, should take a power of beating. Nobody wants to go out in the last leg, so maybe add 1 or 2 in there. For second, we have gone for the 4, Sprinkles. Gavin Arena again for the Van Vuren yard. I think the last 2 runs of Sprinkles were blatantly too short. We go back and look 4 lengths to Marina at Grayville, and he was drawn right in the sticks. The time before that, 1.5 lengths to Silver Darling at Grayville as well. 4, nearly 5 lengths behind Rain Holland when Rain Holland was at her best. I really think that Sprinkles at decent price should not be left out of any exotic. For third, we've gone for the 5, and this is Terror Time, Marco van Rensburg for the Hoedelarcus yard. Marcus gets on very, very well with this daughter of Time Thief, and I think Terror Time should be included as well. As I said, nobody wants to go out the last leg of a pick 6. For fourth, we've gone for the 7, Bold Fortune, Diego de Gavea. Retains the ride here for Stewie Pettigrew. Fair effort last time out, 2.5 lengths behind Bureau de Legendre, was running on that occasion, and again, should be there and when the whips are cracking. So race 9, smaller punters, take a chance and bank at the 8, but we've gone 8, 4, 5, and 7. We'll move on to race 10. This is due off at 17:05. This is a Gold Ball Grade 3 over 3,200 meters. And I really think this is a match race in 2. If you're taking a jackpot 2, just put 2 horses here. Between horses 1, Shangani, and horses 2, Arumagam. Shangani carrying 62 on his back. He's carried it before. He's giving Arumagam 10 kilos. However, I still think that Shangani will get the job done, and is my narrow first selection. From the 2, Arumagam. For third, we've gone for 7, And this is Apache Fighter, carrying 50.5 with Muzi aboard, maybe good enough for back end of trifectas and quartets. And for fourth, we've thrown in horse number 3, Tababue, Wesley Mowing for the Gareth van Zyl yard. I know it is the first time over this distance, but I think on breeding should be good enough for back end of trifectas and quartets. So race 10, we have gone 1, 2, 7, and 3. Guys, as I said, I think there are a couple bankers. If you don't want to banker, please take a smaller percentage, add what you fancy into your exotics, and I really think we're going to have a decent day. Take it easy, look after yourself. Stephen, back to you in the studio.
Thanks for that input, the postman. We really appreciate the time and effort that you've put in to your card out at Turffontein. I know you have tipped your normal 10 race program, your bipot, your PA, your jackpot 1 and jackpot 2. So all in all, enjoy, have fun, break a leg, and cheers for now.